questions about where am I getting my levels from? How am I breaking these down, right? How do we find direction based on the profile? So I thought I'd break it down for you guys in a clear way, right? Identify what we have going on in terms of profiles, in terms of distribution, in terms of distribution theory, and where I can grab these levels from on Sierra chart with the S&P 500 here. So first things first, right? This is the main volume profile chart. This is going to be the main volume profile chart, right? It's a very simple version of the volume profile. What it has on it is the price, right, based on time, right? So 30 minutes, for example, is this one. And we have price. We have the volume profile here on the right. I believe it is a 20-day, maybe a 5-day. I'm not entirely too sure. But a larger volume profile that has multiple sessions. We also have the individual volume profiles for each Globex and regular trading hours session. So the RTH, regular trading hours, ETH, the extended trading hours, which is the Globex, right? So these sessions are denoted and split up in terms of profiles. Now, each one of these profiles, if we zoom in, has a value area, right, which is denoted in blue. 70% of the volume rests here. And this is what we call a balance, right? This is fair value in the market and a balance. Then the outskirts of it, which are gray, which are the remainder 30%, right? It doesn't have to be split evenly 15 and 15%. It can be all at the top, all at the bottom, just outside of the value area. And this is where you are imbalanced or you are outside of fair value. We also have the value area high and the value area low denoted by these long blue lines, and that if they don't get intersected, they will continue to print. And on the yellow line right here is the POC. So starting with this, right, the first areas that you have to play, right, the first areas that you should be aware of is the value area high and low. Why is this? Because they sandwich price between them. They sandwich price to keep price in balance. If price is in balance, then it will remain within the value area, and your value area high and lows are going to be support and resistance areas. So you can use the Globex session to determine this and the prior session to determine this for the coming session, right? So as long as we stay in these distributions, we are going to look for the balance. Now, when we escape outside of balance, right, and if we zoom in a little here, we escape outside of balance, what do you think is going to happen? That support, right, or that resistance flips, right? Resistance now turns into support, right? Support, if that breaks, turns into resistance. And what we're going to be doing is looking for other balance, right? A prior POC or get into another balanced area. So just by understanding that and using the Globex session, you can identify what the direction of the move is going to be. In this circumstance, we escape the balance, we become imbalanced. What we're going to do, we're going to look for a balance elsewhere, which is between these areas, right? So even just to start, you can just draw out a lot of the value area highs and lows and some of the POCs that extend, right? Those are going to be some of your key levels. Now, to take that further, we're going to look at ledges. So ledges on a larger volume profile here. I'm going to look at another volume profile with you guys. But ledges with a larger volume profile are going to be areas of interest because there's support resistance. Think of these as little value area highs and lows, because a ledge, what it does, it is sandwiches balance. If you have a ledge like this, you have the balance inside. These ledges are going to maintain this balanced market, right? So we draw the ledges based on that, and they act as support resistance areas. They become areas of attraction as well, because they're going to be at the ledge of a distribution. The way that distribution theory works, if we have a distribution like this, right, if we enter the distribution, there is a very high chance we go test the top of that distribution and first the POC in the middle. So keep that in mind. So when we're looking at this, we can draw our levels based on the value area highs and lows and the ledges and combine them to start off, right? This is the most basic understanding of where we can get our levels, and understand that when there is a break out of balance, we are going to get attracted to balance. Now, what this chart does very well is that extends the line, so we understand where that prior balance was. So let's start drawing some of the levels here. I'm just going to draw them on this chart. So we have the value area high. We have a ledge here, right? We have this value area high that kind of comes into a ledge, right? I want to combine the two ledges together. So like here, I'm just drawing them on the zoom drawing tool here. here somewhere, right? 72s or whatever the number was. You can have one here, which is the value area high as well, right? Closer, it should be close to the 80. So what we've done is we've identified a lot of the potential areas of interest for the day, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We're making sure the levels are 5-10 points apart. We're making sure that we understand where the Globex and prior session value area highs and lows are. And then with these levels, we can look at something a little different. It's a different volume profile chart. This volume profile chart, I'm going to get rid of these areas. This volume profile chart combines a TPO, a time price opportunity, and the profile itself with different colorations for the volume, right? These different colors are outside of the value area and they denote a percentage of the POC. The closer we are to blue, so we start with red, yellow, or red, orange, yellow, light green, green, blue, right? That's the denomination of this. The closer you are, the closer the percentile is to that POC, right? And that means that outside of the value area, you have created a level that has a lot of volume, right? Now, these areas are usually rejection points for that heavy volume, right? So we have one at the lows here, one at the highs, and the next move is a reversal move typically. So what I do with this chart is I look to combine the ledges with the ledges of the individual days. So yes, we could have a ledge in and around this area that I haven't drawn. Where is it? What I'm looking at right now. Extending rectangle. That's not the one that I wanted to draw. Somewhere here, in and around that area, right? So let me just move this guy like this. Make him a different color. Jeez, I cannot do this. So, or you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of that. There we go. So like that's a ledge, right? What we get is the ledge profile here along with this ledge. That's a key area. So what I do is I look for areas that can combine the intraday ledges along with the larger ledges, as well as I'm looking at where the volume profiles kind of split up. So like what I'm looking for in levels and pivots and whatnot, right? I'm looking for where we can split things up, right? If there's a big distribution like this, it's split up somewhere here. There's another distribution like this. So the thought process is, as long as we maintain within this distribution, we will tag the tops of that distribution. Same thing, we break below, we're going to tag the lows of that distribution, meaning that this area right here would be a pivot point that splits up the distributions, right? So the targets are going to be the next remaining ledges at the tops, right? So these remaining ledges at the tops, those are going to be the levels, and you can identify those ledges as well. So this was a shorter video. I wanted to break it down a little quicker for you guys to understand. And let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoyed it.